For all you've mentioned, what are you doing about private sector participation? Because at the end of the day, it really can't be government. The government has got to provide that environment upon which the private sector will build. What are you doing about the private sector?
We've done quite a lot. First is you need to remove this perception of fear or perception of insecurity in the state so that investors can come in. Because I've just mentioned to you that I've run for 1 to 2 months of no robbery, no kidnapping and all that. And I have asked the citizens and they've said, oh, what a wonderful thing. Yes, we must give glory to God, but God uses us as agents to put some things in place. So people need to believe that there's no insecurity in Port Harcourt, that you can drive at any point in time. I was on the road yesterday by 1 a.m. You say I have security, I went to just a second car. So we need to do that first. The next thing you need to put in place is power. So you can see that's why I'm battling to ensure that I have 24-hour power supply. I did promise to say that by the end of this month, they should have 24-hour power supply. We're inching to that closely, but you must know that we must talk with the federal government and ensure that our distribution points are allowed to run with the PSM facilities and all that. If we don't get 24 hours, let's target 18 to 20 hours. That will encourage investment. But apart from that, we've created conducive atmosphere for partnership. As I talked about, if you went to the farms, because we have a 2,000 hectare banana farm that belongs to both the state government and an investor from Mexico. We have the Songhai farm. I don't know if you've been to Port Novo. We have the Songhai farm, which is 100% Rivers State government. But ACU, I think it's John Deere, they call it the agri firm in America, wants to put in 60% of equity.
Why bananas?
Well, because it's easy to make money from banana. In 9 months, you harvest, you sell. The market is there in Europe, and you can recover your investment.
So you're looking towards export?
Yeah, they're exporting. Don't forget, it doesn't belong to me. I'm just 40% equity. Where to that extent of 40% equity, yes, it belongs to the state government, partly. But the gentleman wants to farm banana. That's what he has expertise, and he thinks he can recover his money quickly.
What about the local investor?
Yeah, I'm coming to local investment. Okay. So I've called the banana farm. I've called the fact that an American firm wants to take over, wants to put 60% of equity in our Songhai farm. That's why I said didn't actually tour around. If you had gone around, you would have seen this. Then we have an investment with an Israeli firm of $140 million, farm 2. And they are bringing $40 million. We are bringing $100 million. Their argument is that there is a social element to the farm, and they think that the government should be responsible for the social element. The social element is that it has 300 houses, health centers, roads, water, light. It's a farm village. And each farmer will have a hectare of land to farm his own. Then we have agro-processing. We'll take whatever he has farmed and process. I think that they will work for the state government in our own farm, which is 3,000 hectares of different croppings. So you can see that. That is under private investment. That's because our focus is on agriculture. Then I've told you about our power disinvestment. It was 100%. Now we have sold 70% of the equity. So we are now 30% to a private investor.
Local?
Local, that's a private investor. Sahara Oil, but they call them, I don't know what they call them. They have a company, a power company. So we sold 70% of the equity at $305 million. That we have sold. We're about to sign so they can bring the money. We need the money badly. And our budget today for next year, part of the funded revenue income is from that expenditure.
You know, when you say you need the money badly, it reminds us of what someone here wants, someone who lives here in Port Harcourt. He's saying something about a door-to-door tax collection.
That's primitive.
That's primitive.
We just put a bill in place, which we've not signed, that we call it the tax harmonization bill. The tax harmonization bill takes away people you see on the street harassing people are collecting tax. It takes away double taxation and all that, and ensure that we outline what taxes anybody can pay in the state, either to local government or to the state. And after that, no more. But I don't know if they put that in the law. I demanded that they should put in the law that no government official, whether private, no government official should be seen on the streets collecting taxes. If you're seen on the streets, you must go to prison. No, anybody who doesn't pay taxes should also go to prison. Right? That way you streamline the process of the collection of taxes.
But that, in the area of that tax, I was going to ask you about welfare, but let me begin with it. would those government officials who have evaded taxes,
Government officials?
if possibly you find maybe a former government official, a former governor, a former commissioner, or someone who evades taxes, would they go to jail as well? Is that also part of
No, but from the laws, but you can't make retrospective law in criminal law. You can't. It has to start from the day the law was passed. So for the day the law was passed, if you don't pay your tax, as if they included it, then you go to jail.
Including 7 officials?
Anybody.
There's
no law that says I exclude you privileged citizen. It's only
does that include you?
Of course.
Okay.
When I finish for government, I'm like every other citizen of the country.
All right, Your Excellency, commendable work. Aside from the comments we're getting here, commendable work you've done in the area of security, in the area of roads, even the area of schools, even though someone here says the schools are empty. But how can you measure the effect of all this commendable work you've done?
The person is not being so unfair. If he sees empty schools, he should call us. I'm building new schools because I drive around and I see that the surge towards our schools is becoming a barrier for government. So you have, first when we took over, used to have 150, 200 children in a class. We said it's impossible that a teacher can relate with any child in a class of 200. So we came down to 30. And we're still providing accommodation for those others that are remaining in each school. So each school you have a 390, you have 390 children in each school. Now what we found this year is that most people have gone to their private schools, withdrawn their children, and are coming to our school for admission, and we don't have enough space. So we've changed the model we're building now, which is a bungalow, to a story building of 25 to 30 classrooms, so that we can accommodate more children. And our position is that the children that are in primary 5 and 6 will be up in the first story, and then the ground floor will take the children of primary 1, 2, and 3, or 4. So if anybody says any school is empty, let him come to me. It's very important. I don't mind the rural areas because we're gradually furnishing and equipping. He's right to the extent that out of the 500, we're trying to furnish 250.
Okay.
To that extent, but if it's in Port Harcourt, please tell him to show me because I'm looking for empty schools in Port Harcourt.
Okay, I was going to ask you, can you measure the effect or the effect of all that you're doing on the welfare of the people? Have their lives changed?
I don't know how to answer that question. I've just spoken with the Minister for National Planning and pleaded with him to come and do an assessment on that. Because the worst thing to do is to be putting money and not see the outcome. Let me tell you, in fact, Nigeria is one of the countries that have the highest level of financial investment in education and the poorest outcome.
Why?
Ask me. There's a UNICEF report on that. It means that the money is not going to schools. That's what it means. It means that money is going somewhere else other than the school. So I don't want River State to be part of that. I want to see the outcome. And I think the outcome, for instance, I went to these schools with the governor of Oyo State. I was okay, let's examine the children on the impact of ICT, the introduction of ICT curriculum in the schools. Good morning, children. Good morning, Your Excellency. Now, how many of you here have had contact with computer? You all raise your hand. All right. What is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that processes information, stores information, whether it gives it out for utilization or whatever. Good children. All of you say the same thing at the same time. That's what they call rote learning. That means they are cramming. God, this is not what I paid for. Then I walk up to the next class. Good morning, children. Good morning, sir. How many of you here have dealt with a computer? All of them raise their hands. What is a computer? A computer is a storage device that processes information. Let it be a device, electronic machine. Then to the third class, which is class 4. They repeated the same. So we went to primary 1 and primary 2. What is a computer? Have any of you dealt with a computer? Yes. What is a computer? A computer is an electronic machine that makes my work easier. That's primary 2. Primary 1. A computer is an electronic machine that makes my work easier. It means what you're doing is that you're not teaching them. You're getting the children to cram. And that's the application I'm looking for. The word is education, not cramming. It means that a child should be able to produce what he understands a computer to be in his own words.